Okay, welcome to the Heath Spencer Phillip podcast, where I will be updating all of you beautiful people of all things related to Heath Spencer Phillip, where my gigs are, what I'm recording, what new music I'm working on. Today, we have a very special guest, goes by Peace Up H-Town, that's Houston, everybody, and he's going to tell you all important things about the legendary Houston Astro that we've come to know and love, named Jose Altuve. Welcome, Peace Up.
What's up?
What's up, indeed. Tell the people what's on your mind today.
So basically today what we're going to be doing is doing a podcast about Jose Altuve and basically his story on how he went from a nobody from Venezuela to becoming a superstar MLB player, to becoming the most hated MLB player, and then coming out for revenge and winning the World Series.
You don't say. Sounds like you've done some research on this, my man.
Yep, have been since 2017. He's my favorite player. I even have his autograph.
Right on. Well, before you get to the beginning, let's just kind of rewind. How did you get Mr. Altuve's autograph?
For Christmas one year, got Altuve's autograph.
How'd you obtain that? Somebody buy it? They meet him? Did you meet him?
No, just in the stocking.
It was a stocking stuffer, his autograph? Wow. You are a lucky dude. All right, well, I won't interrupt you anymore. Let's get to where we need to be. Tell us all about this great Altuve.
In 2007, Jose Altuve tried out for a bunch of MLB teams. He tried out for one in particular, the New York Yankees. That would come back to haunt them, and you'll see that in the rest of the story.
Okay.
So Jose Altuve even tried out for the Houston Astros, and they said, no, you're not the right age, you're too short. Because at the time, Jose Altuve was only 5'5", very short. And Dallas Keuchel, former teammate, said that he didn't even think that Jose Altuve hit puberty yet.
Wow. That's hardcore. Pretty harsh.
So, yeah, he tried out for the Astros. They said that he was too short. He came back the very next day with an ID that proved that he was the right age. And so they gave him a shot, and he actually surprisingly did really good, and the Astros did not expect that. They signed him for $15,000. The future MVP for only $15,000.
To actually play a season for $15,000?
Mm-hmm, the minors.
Was this, oh, okay, so it was a minor league contract. Okay, gotcha. Go on.
So, yeah, not making a lot, but Altuve did not quit, and in the minors, he put up some very impressive stats and immediately got called up to the MLB in 2011. Altuve had a kind of slow start to the MLB in 2011, not putting up, it was very good stats for a rookie, but, you know, it wasn't like that impressive. And I should mention, the Houston Astros were the worst team in Major League Baseball that year.
We're talking about when?
2011.
I remember those dark times. So, so the numbers he's putting up at this time, they're not the worst, but they're mediocre numbers.
I would say a little bit above mediocre. Like, his batting average was .276 that year.
So he's I'm sorry to interrupt, but he's starting to show some promise, but nothing that's just glaring at anybody. Mm-hmm. Okay, go on.
He did get called down to the minors again in 2011, then got called back up. And it wasn't looking that good for 2012 for the Astros. And even Altuve, he wasn't that well known yet. But then in 2012, Altuve would just start raking, make the All-Star game, and bat a little under 300, and just was an insane contact hitter. Not the best power hitter, as he's never been in his career up to this point. And, yeah, another great year. But for the Astros, on the other hand, then 2013 hit, and Altuve, again with another great year, did not make the All-Star game this year, but his second half was very impressive. But the Astros, they lost 111 games that year. They just kept on getting worse. But Altuve did not give up on his team. And the very next year, they did not bad, but not as bad as it had been, as they got George Springer that year. He was a rookie that year. Didn't do particularly well that year because he...
Springer you're talking about.
Yeah, George Springer.
Yeah.
And Altuve made the All-Star game that year, had a 200-hit season, and I believe that his batting average that year was 344 or 346, one of those two. And yeah, another great year for him. And the Astros, they started to kind of show a little bit of sign of promise for Astros fans, and it started looking like we might have some good times ahead. So
to stop you again, help me out with the money again. When he signs for the 15,000, okay, now we zipped ahead a little bit, and he's having these seasons with the Astros where they're not, they're not exactly winning yet. Springer comes in. Is this still the same money? When does he start to make some kind of respectable money?
Probably around 2012, 13, because
Okay.
whenever you're in the minors, they don't know whenever you're going to get called up to the majors, so they're still paying you the same amount because it's whatever you
You're
sign.
under the same contract. Okay,
but
okay.
I believe that he re-signed with the Astros after the 2013 season.
So they had a renegotiation at that point. Right on. That makes sense. Okay. All right. I keep stopping you, but I'm very curious about this because I'm a Houstonian. I grew up in Houston. I went to the Astrodome for the first time when I was 5 years old. My dad, who loved baseball, took me, but a little bit of the attention deficit. I couldn't focus, so I never learned stats. I happened to be fortunate enough that Nolan Ryan was our pitcher, so I was alert to the Astros. But my little buddy comes along here. He is detail-oriented. He knows this stuff. So I rewind him a little bit and say, hey, wait, back up. Tell me when this happened, what the money was. He never fails me. He knows everything. This guy's incredible. So pick it up again.
In 2015, the Astros finally started to become a winning team. And even better, they had just gotten Carlos Correa. And you would see that Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa would create something very special. They would become a double play partner, both of them. And they would make so many great plays together. And they would create this handshake, and I want to actually show you it.
Okay, now I'm pretty dumb at this. Let's make it happen.
So you go boom, 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 grab on like that.
Wait, like this here?
And then you jump up.
I made him look bad. Okay, but let's start from how many boom boom booms do we have? Let's start from the get go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. On the third one we clasp. And then that's when they jump. Okay, we'll leave that out. And then what happens then?
They just
okay, that's that. I recall. Yeah. And I'm sorry to make you look. I'm just terrible at those kind of things. No one would ever share a secret handshake with me. That's for sure. But I remember seeing it on TV all the time. And you master all those kind of things. You should come up with your own handshakes. You're born for that. Just terrific. But once again, I stopped you. Where are we at, bud?
So the Astros make the playoffs for the first time since 2005, whenever they lost the World Series to the White Sox that year. And it was looking very promising as the Astros they beat the New York Yankees in the wild card game. And then they took a 2-1 series lead against the Royals in the ALDS.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, Carlos Correa
vaguely
would hit 2 home runs that game. And then it wasn't an error, and it wasn't really a play that most shortstops would make, but the ball had a bad hop, went straight over his glove, and the Astros could never recover from that for the rest of the season. And it was a very disappointing loss that year. And, yeah, it wasn't the best ending to a season that looked like we could maybe even make it to the World Series.
If you're my age or older, you know quite well that it's never really been easy to be an Astros fan. We had a phrase in the 1980s called the Disastros. I'm approaching 50 years old, so if you were a child of the 80s like me, you know. So when this young lad came along and the Astros were having such great success, I was almost scared. I was saying, don't get used to this because this is not normal for us. However, I got to tell you, being an Astros fan has been a lot of fun here in the last few years.
It has.
We've
had some dark because of the cheating scandal.
Yes, where we did not cheat and they said we did. You got anything to say about that?
I'll get to that.
We'll get to that later. Okay, so what page are we on now? What do you got, buddy?
So, we're now approaching the 2016 season after at least making it to the playoffs, and we actually did pretty good. We just choked. We had very high hopes heading into the 2016 season.
Yes.
But a lot of George Springer got injured that year. Correa didn't play as well as people thought he was. And even Altuve, he had a great year, but not how it had been in past years. I mean, for Altuve, it wasn't a good year, but for any other player, it would have been an outstanding year. He batted .316 that year, I believe. I could be wrong. He made the All-Star game that year. And it was a pretty good year for Altuve, but the Astros did not play as good as everyone thought that they were going to play.
Why do you think that you're so fascinated, not just with, obviously the Astros, that's your home team, and that's the way we're supposed to be. Like the song says, root, root, root for the home team. And, you insert your city, in our case, the Astros. But what is it about baseball you think that captures your imagination as opposed to, the old pigskin sport, where you score a football bat?
So for me...
He'll have to forgive me for that. Talk to me about baseball. Why do we love baseball? Because I do too, and I'm not even the biggest jock.
I really like baseball because whenever there's so much stuff in life that sucks, and you can finally just enjoy and watch a baseball game, and if you enjoy playing, then that's a lot of fun also, and it's just like the game of life is what they say.
So baseball takes the emphasis off of the things that suck.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's what makes me a musician. You see my beautiful, I almost lit my hand on fire. I got a candle burning on my guitar, but I'm so silly. You just keep on talking about we're here to learn from this guy.
So, now heading into 2017, the Astros would sign Josh Reddick, Brian McCann, Carlos Beltran coming back to the Houston Astros.
That's right. Now, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but Beltran was on our World Series team that got swept, or no?
No, he was on the year before that, 2004.
I recall. That's right. That's when he went. Was it the Yankees or the Mets? Where'd he go?
I think he went to the Mets that year, and then he played with the Cardinals after that. Then he went to the Yankees, then the Rangers, and then the Astros.
You've done your research. I didn't remember all that, but okay. Well, okay. Try to pick it up then.
So, yeah, the Astros, again, had very high hopes heading into the 2017 season, but we have a little bit of a problem here. Ever since the Astros became a team in the early 60s, we either suck real bad, make it to the playoffs, and kind of lose either first or second round, and then can't pick it up the next year. And that's what it looked like heading into the 2017 season. But this Astros team was different.
Yes.
And this Astros team was also special. They had good coaching, they had good hitting, they had good base running, they had good fielding, good pitching, and everything.
And we had the magic.
We did have the magic.
I've seen a lot of teams that have all of what you mentioned. They've got the pitching, they've got the hitting, they've got... You name it, they got it. But sometimes a season will just feel special. And I've talked with other sports fans, even about other sports. And, what do you think about this team? It feels good this year. And I remember that feeling about that particular Astros team. And there was a buzz, like when I listened to the radio, be it the talk radio shows of the morning. There was definitely a feeling of almost destiny about that team.
Mm-hmm. And Altuve, don't even get me started with him. He had probably the best Astros season, as an Astros player, best Astros player season ever. He batted .346 that year, hit 24 home runs, which is actually a lot for him. And a lot of people will say that Aaron Judge did not, he deserved the MVP award that year, but he did not because Altuve performed in the playoffs. Unlike Aaron Judge, who did terrible in the playoffs, Altuve was a playoff hero that year. He hit 3 home runs in Game 1 of the ALDS. ALCS killed the Yankees, and that goes back to how the Yankees did not sign Jose Altuve. They rejected him, and Altuve, he came back to haunt them. And
Which makes him exactly what the award says, most valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, the MLB says that postseason stats don't count for the MVP, but I say that they do because, I mean, you can be amazing in the regular season, but it won't matter unless if you perform in the playoffs because the playoffs is all that matters. Like
right. I mean, the playoffs leads to the World Series, and that's what we remember. That's what goes in the record books. So, if you're not only helping your team but helping the league, I would say that adds value to you. It's called the Most Valuable Player Award. So I'm in agreement with you on that.
Yeah. So now the Astros, they make it to the World Series for the second time in playoff history.
That's right.
Since 2005, and this time we had to face the Los Angeles Dodgers. They won 104 games. We won 101 games. So
that's pretty equal.
Yeah. But a lot of people had the Dodgers winning that year.
Mm-hmm.
And Game 1, the Dodgers did win, and it didn't look good since we had former Cy Young winner Dallas Keuchel on the mound. If he couldn't get the win for us, it was kind of scary.
Can I ask you who had home field advantage?
The Los Angeles Dodgers.
So Keuchel is on the mound for us, but we're playing in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
And
Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Clayton Kershaw pitched for the Dodgers that game.
Okay.
Another
right
good
on.
pitcher.
Yes. Yeah. Even I know that.
And now Game 2. It was not looking good in the 9th, but Marwin Gonzalez comes up, no outs, and hits a solo home run that ties the game at 5-5. And now it's like, oh, we actually have a pretty good shot at winning this if there's no outs in the 9th. And it was a back and forth game the entire time, and Jose Altuve came in as the hero and hit a home run that gave us the lead, and then Carlos Correa right after him for back-to-back jacks in the World Series. And then to top it all off, George Springer hit a home run of his own. I think it was in the 10th or 11th. It was a very long game, back and forth. Almost like a game that I'm about to mention, Game 5.
The legendary Game 5.
Yep. And then Game 3, oh, by the way, we won 7-6 in Game 2. It was a very close game, like I said. Now it's time for Game 3, and I actually watched this one with you.
I recall this. This was a great night. We had a good time.
We destroyed Yu Darvish that
Yes,
game.
we destroyed Yu Darvish. You're right.
Yeah, that was kind of a sad game for the Dodgers.
Poor things.
And,
go on, my boy. Go on.
And Jose Altuve didn't do too much that game. That was the only game of the World Series where the bottom of the lineup carried us. And then...
Yes, even I took notice of that. That's right.
Game 4 now happens, and my brother actually went to that game.
Your older brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 brothers. I'm trying to keep score here.
And he went to that game, and it was a 0-0 game till the 6th. Actually, no hits until the 6th inning.
I remember that. That was a nail biter. Yeah.
Yeah, and George Springer, he hit a home run, but the Astros, man, our relief pitching, especially Joe Musgrove, he did awful during that game, gave up that 3-run homer. And then Alex Bregman hit a home run, and I believe that we only got 2 hits that entire game, and both of them were home runs.
Holy smokes.
And Altuve did nothing that game either. But now it's time for Game 5.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay.
So
this was an exciting time. Go on, my brother. Go on.
Game 5, the Dodgers immediately again hit off of Dallas Keuchel, and they go up 4-0. Now, we fast forward.
4-0. Sorry.
Now now let's fast forward to the 5th or 4th, I forgot.
Fast forward. I'm done.
Now let's fast forward there, and Altuve gets on base. Correa gets a hit that drives in 1, and now it's Yuli Gurriel and Joe Buck's famous call. Gurriel has tied it. Wow, 4-4.
Wow, 4-4.
And then Cody Bellinger comes up for the Dodgers. He hits a home run. By the way, Cody Bellinger, my least favorite player in all of history of sport.
Yeah, he sucks.
I mean, he honestly does now. But yeah, he hits a homer. And he gives the Dodgers a 7-4 lead. And now the Astros, they get 2 runners on very next half inning. And Jose Altuve comes back in comes up to bat in a legendary long at bat. It's a full count. Altuve hits one so far, goes onto the train tracks, but foul.
Yes, I recall.
Yeah, it would have been huge, but Altuve didn't give up. Very next pitch, basically the exact same location. Don't know why the pitcher did that. And then Altuve hit one about left center field, and the crowd erupted for it to be.
They went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I remember.
And then 7th inning, George Springer lets the ball get past him. I don't know why he would have dove for that ball. I guess he thought he could have caught it, but.
Who knows? You know, the minds of these genius ball players. We mere mortals, we can't comprehend.
Yeah. But he got it back. Very next half inning, he hits a home run. 3rd longest home run in World Series history. It went onto the train tracks, almost hit the train.
You believe this is the 3rd longest in World Series history for a home run?
I believe that it's Freddie Freeman, Yordan Alvarez, and George Springer.
Right. I know we're doing the Altuve thing tonight, but that Alvarez home run that you're thinking of does bear mention. Whenever you want to do that. That was certainly one for the record books and one for the memories. We've had a great time being Houston Astros fans. It's just it's almost unfair. It's manna from heaven to have a sports team like this, especially when Houston for the longest was known as Choke City, and I remember I remember when the Rockets finally did break through with Akeem Olajuwon. We became Clutch City, and the whole town, the whole sports attitude of the town has really changed since then. I was in high school at that time, long before you came around, but I think you can still feel that energy anytime we go to downtown Houston for a sporting event. It's just magical. We love our sports, our teams. And we've got just such a magical one. We started this off talking about Altuve. What a special athlete he is, being,
5'6".
Yeah, I was trying to find a polite way to say short. You associate professional athletes as being tall, but this man has overcome every obstacle, including, poverty, where he comes from. There's language barriers, cultural barriers.
Then Alex Bregman gets on base for Jose Altuve, and Altuve comes up clutch again, hitting one right over Jock Peterson's head. Alex Bregman barely comes into home, and the Astros have our first lead of the game, 9-8. Carlos Correa, very next batter, hits one. No one knew if it was going to be fair, foul, home run, or anything. It was just kept on going, and then booyah, right into the Crawford boxes.
Talk about excitement.
The Dodgers make it a 2-run game, and then Brian McCann, next inning, hits a home run of his own, and I feel like most people forget that Brian McCann even did that, because, Brian McCann isn't the most well-known Astro. But
right, but go on.
Yeah, even he had his big moment. Dodgers in the 9th, we, for some reason, have Chris Davinsky pitching, and he blows it. It's now 12-12. We can't do anything in the bottom of the 9th, except for a Yuli Gurriel double. But now...
That was pretty intense, but go on.
And then now we skip over to the 10th. We somehow hold
10th inning.
Yeah, 10th inning. Brian McCann, he's up to bat. He hits a long foul ball. It could have been a game winner, but it was foul. And then he gets hit by the next pitch. Next batter, George Springer, gets a walk. At second, Derek Fisher comes in as a pinch runner for Brian McCann because McCann isn't the fastest.
Meanwhile, while all this 10th inning action is going on, his paternal grandfather had given up and went to bed. And I've got details about that coming up. Go on, son.
So, Alex Bregman, he comes up to bat. First pitch that he sees, gets a line drive. Derek Fisher comes in to score. Astros win the ball game 13-12 in one of the best games in the history of sports.
It was miraculous. It was quite a thing to behold. It really was.
I was just barely awake. It was like 1 a.m., but I was secretly awake. And
well, how do you sleep through something like that? It's like sleeping through an earthquake. Yeah. This podcast, not brought to you by the good folks at Coca-Cola, but we enjoy a good cold Coca-Cola from time to time, so we'll throw that in for free. Hey, high five on those Astros. Now, I want to add, we did this podcast with very little preparation. This is all memory on the part of Mr. Peace Up H-Town over here. How do you remember all this stuff?
I always try to at least watch 10 baseball videos a day. Whenever...
10 baseball videos a day?
Yeah, I just try to get as much baseball information. Now, I used to do it more back then in 2017, 18, 19, because I didn't know that much information about baseball yet. And
a lot of learning.
Yeah, I had a lot of catching up, and I caught up very fast, and I've just stuck with it ever since that Golden Astros team.
Wow, the Golden Astros. I like that. That Golden Astros team.
People say the
It was a golden time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. People say the what?
The Patriot way. Well, now we have the Astro way.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do. And that's like the Milky Way because we're Astros. We got space here. We got, Houston. We've had a problem. We have all the history. We are the Houston Astros, and it's a great, great time to be an Astros fan. I almost wish everybody could live in Houston just to go to a game and feel this magic that we're talking about. I'm sure you got lots more.
A lot more.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Go on.
So Game 6, it's Halloween. We cannot pull out the win because Justin Verlander, he has that World Series curse.
What city? Okay,
Los
so it's Halloween night. So it's Los Angeles. So we live in Central Time because that's Houston. So over in Los Angeles, it's a little earlier, so they don't even care about their trick-or-treaters. So they deserve to lose. But go on. Okay, so it's Game 6?
Mm-hmm.
All right, talk to me.
They pull out the win because Justin Verlander has a curse.
Oh, they won on Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it that way. Go on, son. Go on.
So now it's Game 7. This is all the marbles. For all the marbles, and we have Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. They have Yu Darvish. It's going to be a nerve-wracking game. Well, we thought it was until the Astros exploded for 5 runs. Altuve got one of the RBIs for us, and we held on to that lead, only giving up 1 run for the rest of the game. And, yeah, we pulled it out. World Series champions, Jose Altuve.
World Series.
Won an MVP. He had a great playoff. World Series champion. And just, one of the best seasons that you could have as a player.
That is just that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood stuff. You can't make that up.
Now we head over to 2018. Altuve makes all. The Astros are just a great team again, even better than we were in 2017. Except playoffs, that's a different story. We lose to the Boston Red Sox in heartbreaking fashion.
I do remember that. That sucked.
Hey, at least we didn't lose to the Yankees. We'll never lose to the Yankees in the playoffs. I actually don't hate the Red Sox. Yeah, I've always
felt that if the 20th century belonged to the Yankees, the 21st century should belong to the Red Sox.
But now it belongs to the Astros.
And I am more in favor of that, obviously. But this is just going back to the old, the curse of the...
Bambino.
Yeah, the Bambino curse.
Let's just skip over to 2019. 2018 was...
2019.
The Astros have, they have so much talent with the lineup of George Springer, Michael Brantley, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, Yuli Gurriel, Carlos Correa, Kyle Tucker, sometimes Josh Reddick, actually more of the time Josh Reddick, and then Robert Centrino, sometimes Mark.
I don't know that one. You said Robertson, what? Torino?
Robert Centrino. He was on the Astros in 2019.
Okay. For some reason, that name is a bit more vague than the other ones you mentioned.
Yeah, he was a catcher, you know. The Astros have never had amazing catchers.
Well, Biggio was a catcher back in... Well,
Yeah,
then he switched over. Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, the Astros have a great team. We won 107 games. We didn't lose 107. We actually won 107. And then we win the first series in 5 games. It was actually kind of a close series, surprisingly. Wow. Altuve... I mean, it's only fitting for him to hit the first home run of that series. And now we skip over to the legendary 6-game series of the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros.
Dun, 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 dun. Baseball. Oh, sorry.
All right, so Game 1, I was actually at this game.
You were at this game. Was I at this game?
No, you weren't.
I had something to do. Okay.
And Game 1, we lose 7-0.
Oh, boy. I think I do recall this particular evening. Yeah, okay. Talk to me.
So, yeah, Game 1 doesn't go as planned. Game 2, Carlos Correa comes in clutch, hitting a walk-off homer to send all the fans home happy. And now, Game 3, we win that one. I don't even remember that game that well. Oh, no, Altuve hit a home run that game in Game 3. It was either Game 3 or 4. Sorry for not remembering exactly which game.
They do their research.
Yeah. And then Game 5, we lose. And that was actually the only game in postseason history where... the only runs of the game came in the first inning, and both teams scored in the first inning, and they got shut out the rest of the game.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's a historic game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But nothing really happened besides that.
Right.
And now, Game 6.
Oh, boy. It sounds like there's some drama here.
Mm-hmm. Altuve gets on base for Yuli Gurriel. He hits a 3-run homer. We're already up 3-0. Everything's looking good. Yankees, they come back, and Altuve and Correa keep on making great double plays. One in particular, Carlos Correa threw the ball 98 miles per hour to first base, one of the fastest ever that I've ever seen.
Holy Dunkin' Donuts!
I mean, and Altuve was part of all these. And now we skip over to the 9th. The Astros couldn't get it done in the 9th. George Springer, he gets walked, and now it's time for Jose Altuve to come up to bat. And he hits a walk-off home run, and the place goes bananas. We are going back to the World Series, all thanks to Jose Altuve.
Bananas, Altuve!
I said bananas because of the Yankees announcer. He said, and the place is going bananas.
Bananas, holy Toledo!
So, now we're in the World Series. Game 1, Verlander, he cannot do it in the World Series.
Yeah, we've had some trouble there. You redeemed yourself this year, JV.
And now you're a New York Met.
Well, we'll get to that later. I'm sorry. Okay, so, JV, on this one, go on. Tell the people the sad news.
Then, Game 2, Garrett Cole pitches.
Oh, we just skipped right to, okay.
Yeah, because Game 1 wasn't even important. Game 2 comes along. Again, we blow it. But then, Game 3, 4, and 5, we win. And it wasn't even competitive. We just blew out the Nationals in those 3 games. Then we skip over to Game 6. And Altuve hasn't done too much in this World Series, just letting you know.
Right.
Now, Game 6. Now it's time for Game 7 of the World Series. Astros get an early
Game
lead.
7 World Series, what year?
2019.
2019. Go on.
Yuli Gurriel hits a homer, and it's looking good until Zach Greinke. He pitched so good, our offense just could not get him any run support besides that Gurriel homer. And A.J. Hinch, he takes him out of the game, and stuff doesn't end up so well. So that's putting it simply.
And charitably.
And it's not only that, we lost the World Series, and now former Astro Mike Fiers says that we cheated in 2017.
He says what exactly? That the Houston Astros cheat, and does he spell out exactly how we're doing this?
Yes, he says that he doesn't say as much as I'm about to say, but he says that we would use trash cans and we would bang on them and stuff.
Bang on them a certain number of times to indicate a certain call, a certain pitch was coming.
Yeah, and of course you can make many arguments like all the teams were cheating, we hardly cheated, and we didn't cheat in the playoffs and all this, but this story's mainly about focused on Jose Altuve. I don't believe that Jose Altuve cheated. Apparently he only had 3.2% of the bangs, and whenever there's where he does get a bang, and he stares right into the dugout, and he's like, hey, don't do that again, and then very next pitch they don't do it. So
he wants to earn his accomplishments. He's saying, don't help me in that, don't quote unquote help me in that way, because I'm not down with this. I don't believe in this. So let's not do this. So yeah, I don't know why he took the majority. It seems like he took the majority of the heat,
because
even though he was the least guilty.
He was the leader of the Astros, is what people call him.
Well, okay. Was he actually an official team captain?
No, but he was like the leader of the Astros, and people said that like he should have stopped it. And Altuve, Carlos Correa said Altuve wasn't apologizing that he cheated. He was apologizing that he didn't stop it. And you can.
It was not officially his responsibility, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's spelled out in the rule book or the.
But of course, he's going to take all the blame since he's the MVP.
He's the soul of the team. He's the MVP, so he should have had the responsibility. That's what they're laying on this guy.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And also, they hear all kinds of stuff from ESPN. What's his name? From not Stephen A. Smith, but his buddy Max. He says Altuve is not clutch. He knew what was coming because apparently. Now, this has been debunked by the MLB. They said, no, this is not true. But apparently, Jose Altuve used a buzzer. Now, there's so many reasons of why this is not true. First of all, why would he have it in his chest and not have it more secret? Second of all, he actually had a tattoo that he did not want anyone to see. And also, his wife, apparently, she did not want them to rip off Altuve's jersey. It is kind of suspicious, and like you just sent your team to the World Series. Why would you be worried about that? But here's the thing: Altuve's a very loyal guy, and he's very loyal to his wife. He loves her, and he probably didn't want her to get mad and stuff.
Right. Now, when you say his wife didn't want the teammates to rip off his jersey. You mean just, what's the reasoning behind that? Just because, hey, that's my husband, don't make him, partially unclothed on television, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, and earlier in the season, they ripped off Altuve's jersey, and she was like, hey, don't do that again.
She didn't like that. There was a bad look. She didn't like that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's disrespectful. And did they have children at this time?
Altuve had a daughter.
So they got an answer about that. Okay. So before I let you cut loose on this again, a man that I admired quite a bit, who's no longer with us, but the great Rush Limbaugh, a conservative talk show, legend. There was a time, let's just say he knew something about sports. He worked for the Kansas City Chiefs, but because of that, he did sort of get inside baseball information, and he paraphrased many people when he said that MLB batters stealing signs is just as common in the MLB as it is for NFL quarterbacks to throw a touchdown. In other words, it's not that big a deal. It's almost part of the game.
Yeah, Carlos Beltran said that he didn't, that he thought that it was just perfectly fun. And
He didn't even officially know it was cheating.
Yeah, he thought that everyone just did that.
This is just how we play the game. I'm not sure I buy all of that. However, it's close enough. I'm sure that is just how the game is played. I mean, you want every little advantage you can get, and if the other team's doing it, then you're going to do it. But the suggestion was that maybe the Houston Astros took it to another level that had not been experienced before. However, my buddy right here, Mr. Peace Up H-Town, he has information to dispute that, because the Red Sox and the Yankees and a couple other people, they were doing the same thing that we were accused of. Is that right?
Chris Sale, Red Sox pitcher, he said that he knows for a fact that the Astros were not the only team.
Of course.
And he still plays, so he basically kind of ratted out his own team. He was like, every single team cheats. And
so why were we singled out and abused so hard over this? And poor Altuve.
We were, Houston has never got a whole lot of love and stuff, and
we're just not a part of we're not a part of the cool kids.
Yeah, I guess you could say. And people say that we cheated in a way that, like you said, in a way that, had never been seen before. We took
on an unprecedented level. This just is next level.
That was a big thing, and also we were, the first team to really get, caught. Obviously, teams in the past have, but, we got caught.
Got caught with our pants down on this one.
And the thing that made it very bad was that we won the World Series.
And won.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's all making sense now. I still think it's a bunch of hypocrisy and horse feathers, shall we say.
Yeah. So now Altuve has to carry all this on his back. Everyone is mad at him. He's super hated, and during spring training, people are yelling Taltuve at him.
Taltuve?
Yeah, like a tattoo, like they're saying Taltuve.
Boy, this is getting dirty.
And people are holding up signs like bang bang and stuff like that.
Taltuve meaning not like tattletale, but
tattoo.
He's got a tattoo, and the timing doesn't line up to his story. I couldn't take my shirt off because I had a tattoo? Is that, am I right or wrong?
You're right, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, people are like, hey, let's see the tattoo, and, just yelling at him. But then COVID hits, and there's no fans.
COVID-19. Yeah, gone with this. Oh, boy.
So
what a time.
Yeah, so no baseball, and once baseball does start up again, there's no fans in the stands, so that's a good thing. And Big Papi said that if Altuve doesn't play well next year, which he probably won't play well next year, and that's not going to be because he can't hit without cheating. It will be because he has all that stuff to worry about, the mental game of baseball,
psychological debris, the baggage.
But he said that later, eventually Altuve will get back to his old self after everything is kind of
He's trying to say this guy's a winner underneath all this. He's going to get back to it.
And he got that exactly right. 2020, I don't like to talk about that year, not really important year, but 2021, Altuve comes back and just great season. Made the All-Star team again for the 7th year now. Altuve, like I said, another great year. Batted just below 300 and either 280 something or 290, something like that. And now it's time for the playoffs. Another great playoff run for the Astros, and we fall short again in the World Series. And Altuve had a great playoffs, probably second best for the team, him and Michael Brantley. But it just didn't feel right that year. Even though we had a great team, for some reason we didn't have a magic feeling that year.
Right. Going back to what I was talking about, it feels good this year. It doesn't feel good. Let me ask you this, though. Do you think people were starting to write us off at this point, like the Astros are never going to quite get back there, or was there hope?
There's this thing going around, the curse of the trash cans. Even though we could have like 110 win season, but we could never win the World Series again because of the curse of the trash cans. And that was the thing going on.
So they thought this was going to actually cement itself as a real curse, like the curse of the Bambino and other superstitions in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But we overcame it.
We did.
That's so. That's a priceless. That's it. That's priceless in sports to overcome your demons like that. So pick it up here. Where are we at?
So yeah, I want to get to 2022.
I'm with
This is
you.
a fun year.
Okay.
This is a
Let's
good
do it.
Astros team. Altuve, again, great season. Makes the All-Star team.
All-Star.
And yeah, and he loses Carlos Correa, his best friend, great teammate.
When you say loses, he didn't die. Not everybody's a baseball fan. Let's talk about that. What happens there?
Correa goes to the Twins.
He gets traded to the Twins.
Jeremy Pena, now Altuve's best friend, comes to we call him up to the MLB, say, hey, come on, kid, it's your time to shine. And he comes in, great replacement for Correa. Astros playoffs. We have to do it this year. We can't just keep on coming this close, but we just like fall off.
Can't go halfway to heaven. We got to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's exactly what we do. Jeremy Pena, Altuve didn't have the best start to the playoffs. He had a pretty good World Series, but the first two series, man, were not pretty. We beat the Mariners, sweep them. Then we beat the New York Yankees, sweep them. That was a very good sweep. I love that we swept the Yankees. It wasn't even
Nothing feels as good as a sweep.
Especially against the Yankees.
Yeah, somebody that's just rude. Hey, Yankees, your fans are rude.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot to mention that. Like, Altuve, so much going through his mind. He's had so much to worry about. 2021, that great walk-off. They yell F Altuve at him, and so much going through his head, and he comes out every single time. On his birthday, they were yelling F your birthday at him, and then he hit a home run. 3-run shot. I almost forgot to mention all that. So
yeah, I'm sorry. It's probably my fault. But this is class. This is what we're talking about, class. And we don't want you to think we're taking this lightly. My dad is actually from New York City. To this day, it pains him to root against the Yankees, his beloved Yankees. But hey, we got to call it how it is. Their fans have done some outrageously rude things, and people of New York, if you see this, we're all Americans. We believe in you. You can do better than this. You can correct this.
I actually know some actual pretty good Yankee fans. It's just some of them are just big jerks.
That's right. They're out there, and you're making your fellow New Yorkers look bad, because we know the good ones. We know people from New York. We don't want any beef. We don't want any hassle. So
it's fun to have beef with them because we just destroy them every single time.
Well, now that part is good. See, we're going to continue to punish you and spank you as if we're your daddy and you're our little spank, spank, spank. Now we're going to put you in your place. Now you dirty Yankees, you. But there's right ways and wrong ways to do this, and you got more class than this. And we actually have an attachment to New York. We have family members. Like I said, my dad is a New Yorker, but we will spank that booty because we're the Houston Astros. Take it away.
World Series, Game 1, we did good until, JV, the curse, like I said.
But he did his thing.
And then Game 2, Astros, Altuve starts it off with a double, then Pena double, then Yordan Alvarez double, Gurriel gets a run in off of an error, and we just destroyed the Phillies that game. 5-2.
This is the Phillies we destroyed.
Then Game 3, don't talk about that game. That was pretty embarrassing. Game 4.
Set that one. Yeah, it is. Go on.
Yeah, Game 4, we win. Game 5, we win. And now, time for Game 6. Altuve gets Maldonado gets on base. Altuve could have been a double play, but he's safe at first.
Which inning is this?
I think it's the 6th inning at this point. Or
Okay.
5th. Then Pena, he gets a single that moves Altuve to third, and Yordan Alvarez.
The great Yordan.
450 center field. That clinches the World Series. Altuve is a champion once again, and that's a story about redemption.
Amen. A story about redemption. The great Jose Altuve. Thanks for being with us. What else we got to say?
Go check out my YouTube channel, Piece of H-Town. I think tomorrow I'm going to make a YouTube video basically about this exact same thing, except it won't be a podcast. It'll be a actual YouTube video.
Right on.
And it's been a lot of fun here.
It's been a lot of fun, but let's get this exactly how they need to find up, because sometimes when I look up Piece Up H-Town, I get the artist known as Usher. So, Piece Up H, I think, is one word.
Let me explain. So,
yeah,
it's a capital P, then East for like peace. So, it starts off with a capital piece, then capital U, then P, then capital H dash capital T town. So it's.
That's how you find Piece Up H-Town, his YouTube channel.
Trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year.
How many subscribers you have now?
892.
So we're almost at 900 subscribers. He's got to get to 1,000. Are you trying to do that by this year, 2022? So before 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have your viewing hours?
Yes, I do.
Okay. This guy's kicking butt. He has a great YouTube channel. This is the Piece Up H-Town. This is the man. He knows his baseball. He knows everything he talks about. You need to like. You need to subscribe. You need to leave positive comments. You need to do anything he says that you need to do. This is the Heath Spencer Phillip podcast. I'm a musician. I sing. I play blues, old school rock and roll, classic country. And we're just getting started. We're in internet land. We're babes in the woods, just getting started, learning this whole thing. But it's going to be a fun little journey. And we thank you for taking the journey with us. What am I forgetting, Piece Up?
I think that just about does it. But good night, everybody.
Good night. High five right here.